Good morning, friends. Happy Thursday. I'm back. Did y'all miss me? I'll tell you what, I miss seeing all of you. Good morning, Angie. Welcome, welcome. Leah, good morning, friend. How are you? Kristen, good morning. Molly, good morning, friends. How are you all? Are you having a great week? This week has been crazy for me, y'all. Jody, good morning. I worked 15 hours yesterday and I worked 14 hours the day before. Miss Mary, good morning. Candy Joe, welcome. Mrs. B, good morning. Nikki, welcome in. So I was going to try to go live this week, and y'all, it's this 3-day weekend thing that happens, right? I'm not sure how all of you guys are in your jobs, but it's like you get a day off. I was chatting with Debbie yesterday on YouTube over there, and she's like, these holiday weeks are so stressful. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, girl, you know it. Molly said, messed me up so bad. I know, right? Veronica, good morning. It's like you get Monday off, but then you've got to make up those 8 hours, right? And my customers, I had so many orders to put in. I'm not complaining. I like getting orders in. So, anyhow, I didn't go live on Tuesday. Tuesday, I worked 14 hours. Yesterday, I worked 15 hours. And on a scale of 1 to 10 brain capacity, y'all, today, if I'm being honest, I'm about a 3. I'm about a 3 on the brain capacity. So today, I thought I need to do something easy. So we're making beanies, y'all. We're making beanies because that's about the amount of brain power I have this morning. Kristen said it doesn't help where I'm at. School started this week. Oh gosh, to top it all off, right, Kristen? Veronica says they try to pack 5 days worth into four. Exactly, exactly. So I did make this beanie over the weekend. It's a really pretty gold color, and I have to tell y'all, I am loving this yarn. Can you see how squishy it is? It's squishy. It's soft. It's so nice. It's a brand new yarn for me. Cindy says I deserve a break. Thank you, Cindy. That's why I didn't go live the last couple of days, guys. I felt like it would be even more stress, with trying to do it, and then I felt like I wouldn't be very good at it or whatever. So I'm working this morning with purple yarn. I don't know if it's showing up blue or purple on the old TikToker here, but over on YouTube it is showing the true color. Woo, looky there. Looky there. So, excuse me. I got a bunch of these skeins of yarn because it is new, and I wanted to make some more beanies. It's nice to make beanies just in your downtime, when you don't have like a lot of energy to making a big project or you're in between projects. Beanies are kind of my go to. Sammy said, I'm making a hat just like that now. Perfect. Sparky, good morning. Welcome in. Gigi, how are you? Miss Rachel is here. How are you, Rachel? So, this is kind of my go to beanie. You guys know the history with me and beanies. I'm not that great at them, but I am getting better. And every time I make one, I feel like it turns out a little better. So, I made the gold one. And now I've got these other colors that I want to work up. And this is a new yarn. I really am digging it, y'all. Really, really digging it. It is called Karma. And it is good karma. Let me tell you, it is good karma. It's yummy yarn, okay? I got this from Pemier. It's a new line for them. I'm not sponsored by Pemier, y'all, but I like to have all the newfangled yarn. I like to try things out. So, anyhow, I took a gamble. It was on sale a couple weeks ago, and I think I bought all the colors. I'm pretty sure I bought them all. I posted a little video of all the colors. You guys can see that. Hey, Lefty, good morning. Um, so this one I'm using today is called Cadet, and it is purple. It's not really a blue. It's more of a purple color, and they call it an ombre yarn, but the ombre effect of this is very subtle. So see how it's like lighter right through here, and then it has kind of the darker, and then it transitions back out to the lighter. Now it's going back into the darker color. So I'm really, really loving it. It's really nice and soft. Now it is a 5 bulky weight, which is perfect for your beanies. Scarves, I think it would be delicious for a scarf also. Kay, thank you so much for the finger hearts. Good morning, friend. Nice to see you here this morning. I'll tell you, friends, I have missed you all. My work week has been crazy, and I would have rather been here crocheting with you guys. I'm telling you. I've been missing you. I've been missing you, friends. Melissa, good morning. Welcome in. And I am using, oh, Joan, thank you so much for the little corgi. I love that little guy. Isn't he cute? Betty, I missed you too. I really did. So this morning I'm using a K10.5 hook, and that is a 6.5 millimeter. All right. I know, Kelly, right? Holiday weeks are wild. Sherilyn, welcome. Good morning. I missed you, friend. So, K10 and a half hook. Oh, now, y'all, while we're thinking about it, I don't know if any of the mods are here could make a little survey. I think I'm going to finish this hat on the live, and we'll have time to make another one. So I brought some more colors out of the stash. This is all Karma yarn. Look at this one. Isn't that brown pretty? They should have named it Good Karma. Hey, Regina, good morning. Welcome in. Matter Brown. So we have brown. For the next color, we have, look at the blue. There's two different blues. I also have a darker one as well. MJ, good morning. Welcome in. Just a Gen X girl is here. Welcome, welcome. So we have Allure. So we need a poll that says brown, blue, or wait for it. Look at that beautiful pink. It's almost like a berry pink. It's not like a baby pink. I would, it's like a raspberry pink. Anyhow, let's see what they called this. They called it Violet Quartz. So I think if we could make a survey, we have a while to do this, but I know mods have to work and all that good stuff. So in your spare time, if you can, we have to choose for our next hat color brown, blue, pink. Very, very easy. Brown, pink, blue. All right. So those are what our choice is. Now, of course, the one I'm using this morning is this Cadet, which is the purple, and then we'll switch out. So let me get situated here. I know, Molly. Isn't that pink pretty? I love them all. That's what I was looking online. Oh, thank you so much for the hat, Jen. Appreciate that, Gen X girl. My holiday weekend is continue to be wild on a level I didn't expect or want, right, Sparky? For those that are just joining, I haven't been live the last couple days because my work has just been absolutely crazy. And I'll tell you what, I have missed all of you. I have missed all of you. But I didn't wanna try to, like, work all these extra hours and still try to do the live and do each one of them, like, half you know what. Oh, the poll is up already. Right up here in the upper corner, guys, if you wanna vote for the next color we do on the hat, right up here in the corner, you can vote. Thank you so much, Tony Ann. You are amazing. I appreciate you, friend. So once I get done with this beanie, we're going to do another color. Now, the gold one I did of this hat, I made it a little shorter. So it's actually a 9-inch hat. I still folded it up a little because it's easier to show on a live. But this from tippy top to the very bottom stitch here is 9 inches. Now, this purple, I'm doing a little longer. So I'm doing this one 11 inches. And that way, when we fold it up, we'll have more of a brim. And the gold, in case y'all are wondering, how many is it going to take? I was able to do a little twisty headband also. So I feel like that's nice as well. YouTube, are you guys focused over there or is it looking like weird? Let me try to zoom in a little bit on YouTube and see if that helps. I can't tell. So anyhow, I had enough of the gold to do a 9-inch beanie and a twisty headband. This one's going to be a little bigger, so I don't know if I'm going to have enough to do both, but I wanted to make a bigger beanie. I made a smaller beanie the first time because it was one of those things I hadn't used this yarn before, and I was like, I wonder how far it's going to stretch. You know what I mean? Like, how far is it actually going to stretch? 10 seconds left on the poll, guys. It looks like pink is winning right now. So if you want to cast your vote for the next color, right up here in the corner, you've only got a few seconds left. Oh, and it looks like it has finished. So the winner is the pink. I'm so glad you guys picked pink. I'm really, really glad. I like them all, but look at that pink. Ooh, me, oh my. I love it. It's like a raspberry. They called it violet quartz, but to me, it looks like a really pretty, like dusty raspberry kind of rose color. Yummy, yummy yarn. I love yummy yarn. So the other thing that happened today or yesterday, was it yesterday my order came? Maybe the day before. I've lost all track of time. Um, I got my Lion Brand order in. Lion Brand had a sale over Labor Day. Well, I think everybody had a sale over Labor Day. Let's be honest. Let me tilt this up a little bit, guys, so we can get more in frame here. Um, Anyhow, Lion Brand had a sale over the holiday weekend. Okay, thank you so much for the heart. I appreciate you. Good morning, Carrie. Welcome in. I have not been live this week, guys. My work has been absolutely crazy with the holiday weekend and stuff. Yesterday, I worked 15 hours. Tuesday, I worked 14 hours, and it was just it's been crazy. Let me tell you that. I thought the violet looked similar to what you're using now. This is a purple color. This one is called Cadet. It's not really blue. It's purple. On my tablet, it's showing like bluish color, but it's really not. It's purple. Definitely purple. Okay, guys, I'm not happy with this YouTube camera. Hang on, let me see if I can adjust this. I don't know why it's not focusing very well. Let me see if this is any better. It's like I'm special this morning. This is what happens when you take a few days off of your live. You don't know how to do it anymore. Let's see if that's any better on YouTube. It wasn't focusing very well. I'm making a beanie this morning. Hey, Red Lady, good morning. Welcome in, everybody. I hope y'all are having a great week. That looks a little better on YouTube. All right, there we go. Now we're focused. I don't know what that was about. I know, just a Gen X girl. Um, yeah, it's very, this yarn is very purple. I don't know why it's showing quite so bluish on my TikTok camera. I don't have any filters or anything on. Um, I do have my lights on here. Let me see. Hang on. I know work gets in the way of my crocheting. I don't know that that does any better for it. Does that look better? That looks a little better, huh? A little more of a yellowish light. I feel like I'm crazy for thinking violet was purple. Well, I think violet is like a purple color. I don't know, when you think of violets, like the actual flower, they are purple. They're not like pink. So I don't think you're, it looks more purple now. Okay, Karina, thank you. I don't think you're crazy for thinking that. I love all the new little dudes that fly up the screen right here. I love it when they make it so that it's not all hearts. Isn't that fun? Thank you all so much for all the taps this morning. I like it when it's like the little hearts and the little party poppers and all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah, it has been a rough week. It has been a rough week for sure, but I'm feeling a lot better this morning. So, Mr. Wheeler, yesterday after work, he went over to Rome, Georgia. Georgia's only about 50 minutes from us, so I know that sounds like a lot. Oh, Molly, I'll explain these stitches in just one second. Let me just catch up on the chat and everything. Um, I'm doing half doubles and single crochets is what I'm doing. So I'll explain all these in just one second. Anyhow, Mr. Wheeler went over to Rome last night and he got a new little Jeep that he picked up. He got an XJ. Um, my son had a baseball game there in Rome. Rome is a really pretty little city over in Georgia, and it's pretty close to us. So, like a lot of times, if we need to go to a big box store, like they have a Michaels over there in Rome, that is where we'll go. rather than over to Huntsville. One, two, three, four, five. It's not as big as Huntsville, and it's a much prettier drive. Like it's way more scenic, way, way more scenic. And so, anyhow, he was out doing that late last night, and I just kept working, even though I was exhausted, because I thought, well, this will be better because then maybe tomorrow I will, be able to crochet in the morning with my friends because I've been missing them. Wait, what happened? Just a Gen X girl. Oh, your aunt passed away in Mexico. I'm so sorry to hear that, Gen X. My condolences, sweetheart. That's terrible. That's such a hard thing. Such a hard thing. Send in hugs, my friend. Sending hugs your way. This 2025, I don't know about for all of you guys. I'm not real superstitious and stuff like that, but honestly, 2025, aside from my crocheting life, in real life has been kind of wah, wah, wah. I don't know if anybody else feels like that. That's kind of how I feel. I don't know that I've been a real fan of 2025. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so what I'm doing when I started this beanie, I wanted to make a finished size from the brim to the tippy top of my beanie 9 inches, and I wanted to be able to fold it up. So I do it about a 2 inch extra so I can fold up, roughly 2 inches. Okay. So when I do a brimmed beanie, I make this 11 inches long. So I don't really count like the number of stitches that I do. What I do is I start my chain. Okay, so we started here with our chain. This is my very first stitch. I always put a stitch marker in there. And I did a chain here. And in this case, I ended up crocheting because I actually paid attention this morning. I knew you're all going to ask. Hey, Kim, good morning. Welcome in. I did 30 chains, which it's not so much about how many you chained, it's about how tall this is or how long your chain is. So I wanted it to be about 11 inches. And when you do it 11 inches, then you can fold up and have a little brim on it. And then I could have it like to 9 inches once it's folded up, right? So you can kind of visualize that. So for me, that magic number was 30 chains. Then I chained one extra as a turning chain. That did not count, and I worked back into my chain and I did half double crochets all the way up in that chain. Okay, so I did half doubles all the way up until I got to the last 5 stitches, which you can see those right here. When I got to the last 5, what I do is I do a single crochet. And what that does is it makes it so that when you're working on the crown of your beanie and sewing it together through here, it's not as bulky. Okay, so that's why I do the single crochets. Now, some people like to do as many as 7 single crochets. For me, the magic number is 5. So you have to play around with it and see what you prefer. But I like to do 5 of the single crochets. So all I'm doing for this beanie is half doubles and singles. And you can see here, I use my little stitch markers to help myself keep track. Leah, raise your hand, girl. I want you to pay attention here. Look at these stitch markers I'm using. How about that? Hey, Karen, good morning. Leanimal, good morning. Welcome in. Pam, good morning. Where is the best place to get pom-poms? I get mine off the Zon. There's some really nice ones you can get off the Zon. Now, when you get them, they're kind of squished up. And you just have to make sure you hit them with the blow dryer. When you hit them with the blow dryer, they fluff right up. They're really, really nice. So, Mama V, good morning. Welcome in. Friends, if I miss saying hello, I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but we are a little busy this morning. Y'all are, I know, Leah, right? Look at that. Gigi, I chained 30. I chained 30 and then I added one more. So I did 31. The one extra did not count. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I'm working down these stitches. These were half doubles here. And you can see here is the top of our stitch where it looks like a sideways V. The stitch, the stitch that is facing me, here's our 2 loops. See how it's like a V? The stitch that is facing me, this one right here, is called the front loop because it faces me. The one that is away from me is the back loop. For this pattern I'm doing, I'm only working in the back loop. Okay, so I'm ignoring this one that's closest to me, and I am working in that back loop. So this one right here, and I'm doing a half double crochet. So I yarn over, go down through that back loop, ignore the front one, pull up my loop. Now we have 3, and yarn over and pull through all 3. So half double in that back loop. Now I do the next stitch, yarn over, again, skipping the front stitch, slide your hook under that back loop, grab up a stitch. We have 3, and yarn over and pull through all 3. I repeat that all the way down, okay, till we get to our very last stitch. The very last stitch, I do a little different. For the last stitch, what I do is I go under both loops. And the reason why is I feel like that gives it a little more stability around the edge of my brim. So you can see here, if I turn it sideways, here's the second to last stitch. Right here is the last stitch. So I have one more half double. Now, instead of going in the back loop, I'm going to go under both loops here. Okay, so under both loops with my half double, and then pull through all 3. Okay, so what that does is it just makes it a little more secure here on the edge. Now, not everybody does that. You can choose to go through the back loop only if you wish. That's totally fine as well. Really, it's your personal preference. Friends, if you're just hopping on, this yarn I'm using this morning, I like to call it Good Karma. It's a brand new yarn from Pemier, and it is skushy. It's soft. It's so much fun to work with. I'm loving it. I got all the colors. I'm not even kidding. I bought them all. I didn't I just could tell by the picture online that it would be something that I would like. So I'm really, really excited about it. This yarn is a blended yarn. It's the colorway Cadet is what I'm using this morning. It's purple. It's not showing us purple on the TikTok feed as it is over on YouTube. On YouTube, it is spot on what it's showing on the screen. So I don't know what that's about. 174 yards, 51% acrylic, 34% cotton, and 15% nylon. This skein will make one beanie that is 11 inches tall, and I do 16 joint stitches. I call them joint because I count them in pairs, but really it's 32. So half double rows, I do 32. Now, this one I did a little shorter. I did a 9-inch instead of 11-inch. So from the tippy top here to the very bottom is 9 inches. And I had enough to do a headband ear warmer as well. And I only have this much left. Okay, so that's if you do a 9-inch beanie, you could get an ear warmer out of it. Now, again, everybody's tension is a little different. So, but you're safe with one skein, you can get a full beanie out of it. Okay, so one skein. It is a 4-weight yarn. This is the color we're going to do next. Excuse me, a 5 bulky weight, Miss Karen. Apologies. A 5 bulky, hand wash, lay flat to dry, which, for a beanie is not that big of a deal. Hey, Miss Debbie, welcome in. Good morning. Dreamweaver, good morning. Yes, I haven't been live this week, Dreamweaver. My work has been absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So the last 2 days, Tuesday I worked 14 hours. Yesterday I worked 15 hours, and I couldn't go live and get all my work done. So I ended up not going. I just felt like it was the right thing to do. Priscilla, good morning. Welcome in. Now it calls for a 6.5 millimeter K 10.5 hook. That is what I am using. So somebody asked me about the hook size for the beanie. I typically will match whatever is on the yarn label here. However, I try always to use a size K hook with these bulkier weight yarns because I just feel like it works up really nice. Now, I did the other day a different yarn. I don't have that beanie next to me. That one was an even bulkier yarn, and I used a real grande on that one. Um, I used a L11 8 millimeter hook for that beanie. So again, match it to whatever your yarn specifications are. But for beanies, you want them to be kind of loose and stretchy, right? So you don't want to definitely do not downsize your hook. I would not recommend that. You want this to have even with your headband ear warmers, you want this to have like some stretch and give to it. Okay. So anyhow, after I get all the way down the side, where was I at here? In the last stitch, I do under both loops. Okay. Now I'm getting ready to turn my work. Let me get reset up here. Hey, Amanda, good morning. And when I'm ready to turn my work, what I do is I chain one. This chain that I made does not count as a stitch. Okay. Then I will turn my beanie and go back the other direction. And this is the chain right here on the right. This is my first stitch. So once again, now when I turn, I actually go under the back loop only because how this chain lays, I don't feel like I have to go under both loops. Okay. So I wrap my yarn around going under the back loop. Again, that's the loop that is away from me. I do my half double crochet. Now, if you're a new crocheter and the thing that I had the hardest time with making beanies was making sure I had the right counts at all the time. Okay. I'd have these beanies that come out looking wonky, and it's because I didn't do a good job of counting my stitches. Okay. So I will then, if you need to, pop in a stitch marker as soon as you make your first stitch. That way, when you come back around, it will be really, really obvious where you're ending and where you're beginning. Okay. So here we go into the next stitch. The rest of the way down until I get to my stitch markers up here, we're going to do half doubles in the back loop only. So again, this loop that is facing me, I'm going to ignore that one. This one that's on the back, I'm going to do a half double in that stitch. Move to the next stitch, again, half double. And I'm going to work that all the way down. So for a half double, we wrap our yarn around once, put our hook underneath that back loop and draw up a loop. So now we have three, and yarn over and pull through all three. Okay. Very, very easy. As I mentioned earlier on the live, I have been working so much on a brain power scale of like 1 to 10, 10 being the most brain power, 1 being the least amount of brain power. This week, after working so many hours and having such a crazy work schedule, I feel like I'm honestly about a 3 this morning. So even though I have a ton of projects in the works, I woke up this morning, I'm like, I think I need to do something easy like a beanie. Just, so I can get something accomplished and it'll be fabulous. So that's what we're doing. Mama Wheeler is here. Good morning, Mom. Mom hasn't even heard how much I've been working. Mom, this is the first day I've gone live this week. I worked, I worked on Monday 14 hours, and then yesterday, Mom, I started work in Arizona time at 3 a.m. and I worked until just past 6 last night, 6:37 maybe even. I think it was like 15 hours I worked yesterday. So things have been a little squirrely around here, and not in a good way. It's these holiday weeks, y'all. So, did everybody have a good holiday weekend? Did you guys get to relax and chill on the holiday? I crocheted all 3 days. Carol said, I'm so glad I'm retired. I know that's what my mom said too. She said, don't worry, you'll be retired someday. Kelly said it's almost not worth having a day off. That's how I was feeling this week, Kelly. Okay, so here we are. I've stitch marked between these last 5 stitches here. Okay, so when we get down to the very tip top of our beanie, I'm working single crochets. Oh, Sparky, I'm sorry to hear that. My son was in the hospital for 5 days. Gosh, I hope he's feeling better. Amanda said, I spent the holiday crocheting with the dog in my lap. Mimi had to work all weekend. And Jennifer had to work all weekend. Oh, no. So sorry to hear that. We took our nieces and nephews to the fair and then dinosaurs the next day. I worked Sunday through Wednesday. Oh, that sounds like a fun time, though. Uh, I love the fair. Y'all know that. And dinosaurs. I mean, what's not to love about that? Okay, so we have 4 more stitches here. Now, as I work these single crochets, guys, I work again in the back loop only. So instead of doing a half double, I'm just doing a single crochet. This helps the tippy top, the crown of your beanie, to taper in. And when I get to the very last stitch here, I still go in the back loop only. Okay, I don't go under both loops, still in the back loop. Then I chain 1 to turn. Now, once again, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Okay, so you can see this is the chain 1 right here. This is my very first stitch. So I immediately go into that stitch with my single crochet again in the back loop only. And right away, I pop in my stitch marker so that I can identify that as we come back around. Okay, let me pop out some of these. Now, that was our first stitch. So I'm going to do, here's number 2, back loop, single crochet. Here is number 3, again, single crochet. Number 4 and number 5, single crochet. So I'm done with my single crochets now. I identify that by a stitch marker. Okay, so between here and here, I know as I come back around, that is where my single crochets are going to be. Now I'm going to continue on with my half doubles all the way back down. And as I do these half doubles, I am doing it in the back loop only. Okay, back loop only, the loop that is facing away from you. 22 new messages. While I'm working on these half doubles, let me catch up on these comments uh, for a minute here. Oh, it scrolled too fast. Let's see. Oh, your son was home from college recovering from the big C. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly. I hope he's feeling all right. Did anyone eat the shrimp from Walmart? Ooh, no, I hadn't heard about that. Glad to hear you're back home. Hey, Miss Hannah, good morning. Welcome in. Carrie made homemade and Dewey and homemade pizzas. Wow. Fancy, Carrie. I like that. Shriners just sent me Shriners. I don't know what it's called. They just sent me the sausage catalog. They're up in Milwaukee. That's the place where I get my Green Bay wieners from. They just sent me their holiday catalog. I was looking at it this morning and I thought, oh, look at that summer sausage. That looks really good. I'm hungry this morning. Can you tell? Queen 530, good morning. Welcome in. Hubby worked on the lowrider all weekend and I finally got all the new parts on it. Now I'm broke again. Gotta love the lowrider. It's like having a boat. You say a boat is bust out another 1,000. I hadn't heard the Walmart shrimp thing. You guys know I don't watch the news. Unless it's crochet related, I don't watch it. Hey Shan, good morning. Gosh, I'm trying to catch up here, guys. Hey Mary, good morning. Welcome in. Just ordered this yarn. I'll definitely make a throw out of it. So glad I caught your live. Linny Pie, I'm so excited. Yeah, it's really squishy, fun yarn. Was it still on sale? When I got it, it was on sale. Um, Yolanda, good morning. Welcome in. Good giggle word from last night. Oh, I missed it. Boy child giggle here. Okay, so here we are. We're back down. This is our first stitch when we were starting out. So once again, now as I reach the brim of our beanie, I'm going to go under both loops with my half double. Okay, I just like to do that on the edge. I feel like it makes it a little more stable along the edge, a little stronger. Nanny Juju, welcome in. Glad to see you as well, my friend. I missed everybody. Okay, chain 1. Again, this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. I turn my work and I'm immediately going to work into the first stitch. So here is the chain. This right here is the first stitch. Working into the back loop, half double. Pop out my stitch marker and then put it in the first stitch out. Okay, so we've got that little guy identified. Laugh so hard, swiped. Don't you hate that, Rachel? I've been looking for purple just like this, settled for another, but didn't like it after I started. This is a really pretty purple. It really is. And it's a nice bulky weight yarn. So if you like working with a bulky weight, um, it's not like a bulky, like the Bernat blanket. I don't like that yarn. Like I have a ton of it that I need to use, and I don't know what to do with it. It's not like that. This yarn is very, very different. This is a beanie that I'm making this morning. So as I'm doing these rows back and forth, for my beanies, I do a total of 32 rows. And as I count these, as you do them back and forth, what happens is you can kind of see they pair together. So do you see how this is like 2, 1, 2? This one is 1, 2, and then here is 1, 2. So as I'm counting these, I count the groups down. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. So we have a few more rows to go, but I like to do 32. And when you count them in the double pairs, I find it easier just to count them like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 times 2 is 28. So that's how I know where I'm at. I do a total of 16 of the double groups, so 32. Naughty Wendy said, I'm making a wheat stitch. Does anyone have a name? Does this one have a name? I don't know that it has a name per se, Naughty Wendy, but I really want to do the wheat stitch beanie. Are you doing Brianna Kay's video? I have watched that like 10 times. Oh, yeah, hooked on hobbies. I'm trying to math this morning. The brain power this morning is, I don't know about it. It's, Oh, you are using Brianna's. I really like her YouTube tutorial, and I have been wanting to make that beanie so much. Naughty Wendy, are you liking it? Are you liking um the wheat stitch? She has a wheat stitch blanket also. Have you seen that video? Oh, and the wheat stitch pumpkin. Yes, Rachel. It is that is on my list. Maybe I'll watch that video again today because I have I didn't finish my story about Lion Brand. So my Lion Brand order came, you guys, for over the holiday. They had, you guys know I love the Scarfy yarn. Has anybody worked with the Scarfy yarn? It is, I just love it. It's delicious. And I couldn't decide. I felt like it was like really, it was really, really pretty, all the different colors. And y'all, for the Lion Brand yarn, I got 11 different colors. I got 11 different colors. It's so pretty. And I got 3 of each one. So what I was thinking, I'm on a beanie because it's fall, right? I donate all these beanies, okay? I donate all of them. But what I was thinking, if I got 3 skeins, what if I try to do a hat and a matching scarf? Y'all, I've only made 2 scarves in my life, okay? I know that probably sounds crazy to you. This is the colorway Cadet. It's actually purple. It's actually purple. So anyhow, yeah, I got 11 different colors of Scarfie. And um okay, wait, let me talk about this. I had a stitch marker here, guys. When I'm making these beanies, for whatever reason, I am beanie counting challenged, okay? And what I find with my beanies is if I do not use stitch markers to identify where everything is, my beanies don't come out with the same amount of stitches from the very brim, this is the brim, to the very top of my hat. Okay, so I put stitch markers in here to make sure that I keep my counts accurate. Rachel, have a great day. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate seeing you. I've missed you, girl. Okay, so what I do is when I made this, guys, I chained 30 chains. Then I chained one. Okay. The one was a turning chain that did not count. So in total, from the brim here, my very first stitch, you can see it marked, all the way to the crown of my beanie, I have a total of 30 stitches. The first 25 stitches I'm doing are half double crochets. Then for the very tippy top of my beanie, the last 5 stitches, I am doing a single crochet in the back loop. And what that does is when you look at the top of your beanie here and you sew it together, it makes it so that it doesn't have such a big mass and bulk here at the top when you sew all of this together. So it makes it lay a little flatter on the top. And I really like the look of that. Now, some people prefer to do even more of the single crochets. Some people will do 7 stitches. You have to experiment and find out what works for you. But for me, the magic number is 5 single crochets, and that helps to taper it down here. So as you look at the top of your beanie, it doesn't have like all that mass and bulk of yarn that kind of looks wonky sometimes. Hey, Summer Storm, good morning. Welcome in. So that is why I had my stitch marker. So this is the very first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th stitch. Now I'm still working into the back loop only, but instead of doing my half double here, I'm going to do a single crochet. So I go under the back loop, single crochet, and I'm going to do a total of 5 of these. So as you're looking at it here on the top, can you see how this is tapering down through here and it's more narrow? I don't know if that's coming through on the live. In person, it's very easy to see the difference. Maybe if I put it like that, you can see it better. So you can see clearly where these stitches are. Okay, so I've done my 5 singles. Now I chain 1 and I turn my work. The chain that I made, this stitch right here is the chain. This one on your hook does not count. Okay, this was my chain. This is my first stitch right here. And once again, I'm going to go into the back loop and I'm going to do my single crochet. So I ignore the chain, single crochet in that first stitch. Now, right away, I put in my stitch marker to indicate that is my first stitch. So that's number 1. Now into the back loop, number 2, back loop, number 3, single crochet. Here is number 4 and number 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pop in another stitch marker. So that is telling me when I come back around where my single crochets are. I chained 31. 31 is what I chained. And guys, it's not so much about the chain, it's about how tall you want your beanie from top to bottom. Okay. So when I'm chaining, every yarn kind of works up different. And depending on the size hook you're using, it could work up different. So, for example, I'm using a 5 bulky weight yarn. If I was doing a 4 weight yarn with, like, say, an I9 hook or a J hook, then like a 5.5, right? Then I'm going to have more chains that are needed. So the way that I figure it out is I like my beanie from from the top to the brim to be about 11 inches. Okay. When I do that, it allows me to fold up on the edge if I want a little brim. Now, if I don't want a brim, what we do is we would only do, for me, I would only do 9 inches and I would make this shorter. So in that case, my starting chain would be less. So remember, it's not necessarily about the how many chains you do, it's about how tall it is. So it might be that your chain ends up only being 25 if you're using a 6 weight yarn, a bulky. Does that make sense? So be sure and measure. And there are multiple guides on, if you just Google crochet beanie hat sizes, there's tons of, things that will pop up that will say, the different size charts and, a male adult this size should be, X amount of inches long and all of that. A child size, of course, is going to be different. So I just take whatever that measurement is and I use that for my baseline. But I'm kind of making like young adult women's size beanies. Okay, that's kind of what I'm doing. Now, sometimes I will make them a little longer or a little bigger. Okay. So I hope that helps to explain how I mathed everything out. In the meantime, guys, I've totally missed a ton of comments. Um, George says, thank you. I've been struggling with turning and with miscounts. George, this is exactly why I put in my stitch markers because I'll tell you, I've been crocheting for 41 years, guys, but when it comes to counting, I might be watching TV, I'm having a conversation with Mr. Wheeler, the dog comes in, whatever it is, you get a phone call, and all of a sudden I end up being short on my stitches and my beanie is like lopsided. So that's where I really try to, use my stitch markers. Friends, if I missed any comments, please feel free to uh, post again. I was talking a lot of stitches, and I know I probably missed those. So feel free to ask again, and I will do my best to answer. If you are just hopping on, this yarn that I'm using, I like to call it Good Karma. This colorway it's actually purple. Thank you, Yaki Goddess. I appreciate that. It's a 5 bulky weight, but it is called Karma, and it's a brand new yarn from Pemier Yarns. I bought this online. It is really, really pretty yarn. It's the best way I could describe it, guys. It's squishy. It's soft, it's fluffy, it's squishy. It's really and the colors are absolutely beautiful. So once I get this beanie done, if we still have time on the live, we're going to make another one in this violet quartz. But here is kind of the violet color. Really, really pretty. Here is the gold color that I did. I also made an ear warmer with it, like a twist headband ear warmer. Really pretty. Here is this one is called something gold. What was it called? Mineral yellow. Mineral yellow is this one. Yeah, it's squinchy. I like that, Tess. Yeah, I make up words. I call it squishy. It's like gushy and squishy all together. It's gushy. It's squishy. Premier Karma Ombre is what it's called. 51% acrylic, 34% cotton, 15% nylon. Allure blue. Isn't that nice? And here's a brown color. I ordered this, Eleanor, from Premier, directly from Premier on their website. It was on sale over the holiday, and or maybe a couple weeks ago or something. And I got I think I got like 10 different colors. I don't know. I made a TikTok video of all the different colors laid out. But this one, I really like the brown. It's really pretty. This one's called Madder Brown. I have a green, I have a white, I have a gray, I have another deeper, like reddish pink color. Red Lady, thank you so much for the finger hearts. I appreciate that. So lots of different colors. I'm not affiliated with Premier, guys, but I like all the newfangled yarns and stuff. So I like to try stuff out. Um, so anyhow, back to the scarf and hat convo that we were having. I'm to the very last stitch here. When I get to the last stitch of my half double side, what I do is I actually thank you so much for the follow this morning. I will do my half double under both loops of the last stitch. I feel like that just gives it a little more security and stability along this edge where the brim is. And so I go under both loops. Now you don't have to do that. You could do that under the back loop only as you've been doing it. It'll make it a little looser around the brim. Um, then I chain one and turn my work. Now we're getting close here. Let's count our stitches and see where we're at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 2 more rows to go. Okay, so as I turn, this chain that I made does not count as a stitch. Into the very first stitch right here, I'm going to do a half double into the back loop only. When you work into the back loops, that is what is giving it this line of texture that you see, like the cabling effect. It almost looks like knitted cabling. And so that's why I really like doing these back loops. So half double into that very first stitch. Now I put in my stitch marker to indicate that was my first stitch out. Now I'm going to work half doubles all the way down, working into the back loop only. Hey, Miss Rita, good morning. Um, Rita, I have to tell you, that little cardigan that you made, it is so adorable. I loved it. It turned out so good. I love seeing all your guys' finished projects. And Rita tagged me in hers because we've been working on little baby cardigans and whatnot. And it is absolutely adorable. You did a great job on that. And I really love the colors that you chose. Really, really nice. I have stuff in my basket next to me. Needles have to go in there with the cover. Um, oh, I guess I missed the first part. Oh, you have a cat. Gotcha. Gotcha. I make counting mistakes with blankets. Stitch markers are essential. They really are, Lenny Pie. I don't think it has to do with how long you've been crocheting. I mean, we have life. Life is happening around us as we're crocheting. And I feel like a lot of times I don't use stitch markers. I get teased a lot because it's pretty rare that you see me use them. But there are certain projects where stitch markers are absolutely essential if I want my rows to be straight and the same amount of stitches. And these beanies are they're that project. They are that project for me. If I don't use my stitch markers, my beanies come out wrong every time. So do you have a tutorial of your work? Miss Sonia, I am live this morning both on TikTok and on YouTube, and you can go back and rewatch all of my lives over there on my YouTube. I am a hobby crocheter. I I do work full time, and so I do the very best I can with making tutorials and content and whatnot. But unfortunately, I don't have as much time to, dedicate to making content as I wish I did. So that's kind of my compromise is you can go back and rewatch it over on my YouTube. My handle over there is Wheeler 8 Acres. And I've got multiple ones of us making these beanies. There's, if you want to make twist head warmers, there's a video you can watch. Now, it's not a, clinical tutorial per se. It's me sitting here rambling, talking about the dog, talking about the deer and all the little critters in my life and whatnot. So it's kind of that style, but that's kind of the best I can do on these. So I'm down to my last 5 stitches. I popped out my stitch marker. This once again, we're back to the crown of our beanie. You can see right here where I'm doing my single crochets to have this taper down and not be so bulky. So into the first stitch here, still working in the back loop, I'm doing a single crochet, and I'm going to do 5 single crochets, one in each of the stitches, working my way out to the edge. Here's our last one. Okay, so again, single crochet in the back loop only. And then I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. Karina, have a great day. Thanks for being here. Hope Miss Gracie gets settled in. Um, this chain 1 does not count. Okay, so this right here is my first stitch. So here's the chain. Again, this loop on my hook does not count. Here's the chain. Here's the first stitch. When you look at crochet stitches, they always have 2 sides on them here. It looks like a sideways V. Okay, this one that is facing me is called the front loop. It's closest to me. The one that is pointed away from me is called the back loop. What we're doing today is we're working these crochet stitches under the back loop only all the way down. And so what that does is it leaves behind this line of texture which gives it this cabling effect. So if you kind of look at it on the angle, see how you can see all those little cables? Just gives it a really nice look, but it's actually really easy to do. Hey, Midnight, good morning. Welcome in. So here is our first chain. Skip that one. okay, the where we chained up, that doesn't count, into our very first stitch, single crochet in the back loop only. Now, right away, pop in my stitch marker so I can keep track of where I am at. That's number 1. Here is number 2 in the back loop, number 3, 4, and 5. So 5 single crochets, 1 in each. Now right away again, when I finish that 5th stitch, pop in my stitch marker. So now when I come back around, I'm going to know that those are my single crochets. Now what we're going to do is we're going to still work in that back loop only. So again, this loop that is away from me, I'm going to do a half double. So I wrap my yarn around, put my hook underneath that back loop, grab up a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. So half double. The only thing is we're working it into that back loop. So ignore the front loop and see how that texture is standing back there. Really, really nice. Miss Mary says, I love your lives. I have been in some lives and they don't talk, they just sit there crocheting. Well, y'all know I'm a chatterbox. So I try to talk about stitches and tell my little stories and whatnot as we work on projects. Now we're almost done with this and we're getting ready to sew in our 2 sides together and turn this into a hat. But I have to tell y'all a little story. I have this much more to go, I think, before we're ready to join this. I'll have to count again. So yesterday I was working and I'll tell you, I hardly moved from that chair yesterday. I was so busy. I think I placed like 50 orders and then I have 22 more orders that I entered that, are ready to go. They're just pending approval. And, anyhow, I kind of was not paying attention to the dogs and they're doing their dog thing. Well, Mr. Diesel, y'all, I came out to go get a drink of, I had to refill my water bottle and y'all, he shredded his dog bed. It wasn't his, it was actually Mo's dog bed. And there was stuffing from one side of the house to the other. Also, he decided that he needed to take half of the stuffing outside. No, he didn't eat any of it, dog lover. He just was having a ball with it. And so our whole side yard has a bunch of fluffy stuffing in there. When I'm off the live this morning, I have to go out there before work and pick up all of the stuffing. Mr. Wheeler was so kind last night. He got home late and I worked late. And literally, when I was done working, I worked 15 hours. I was just exhausted. I got my water. I didn't even eat. I just went and crawled into bed and I turned on 90 Day Fiance, the new one that they have where they're like dating. I can't remember what it's called. Anyhow, I turned that on. And then Mr. Wheeler came home and he was tired too. He didn't get home till like 8:30 last night. So this morning, Mr. Wheeler swept the floor. Anyhow, I was appreciative of that. So this morning, I've got to go back out and pick up the side yard. Yes, Kristen, Hunt for Love. I'm watching Hunt for Love. I'm a sucker for the 90-day series, guys. I kind of like that. Okay, so last stitch here, I'm going to pop out my stitch marker. And now, once again, when I get to the very last stitch here on the brim of my beanie, I go under both loops. So I'm going to do under the front loop, under the back loop. I feel like it uh, just makes it a little more stable there. Okay. So now let's count our stitches here and see where we're at. I need a total of 32 rows. And when we do this, I count them in pairs. So this was a row and this was a row. This is the little line of texture. So can you see how that little grouping makes it 2? I count 16 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I am done with all of my rows. And the other thing you'll want to do, if you're making this for yourself, I'm not making this for myself. This is going to be for donation. Okay. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to, periodically put this on your head and make sure that it is fitting for your size of your head. Okay. So in this case, if I put both my sides together and lay my little tape measure on this here, we are at 11 inches. So once that is folded in half, that is 22 inches. Okay. So that's kind of the average size, I think, is like between 20 and like 22 ish. Okay. So it's kind of in the range. And now what we're going to do is we are going to crochet join the two sides together. Okay. You can sew this. I'm not really a fan of sewing, as you guys all know. Maggie, welcome in. Good morning, friend. Taylor, good morning. How are you? Y'all, I have been missing something fierce this week, but my work has been crazy, as a lot of you have heard. And this is my first day live this week, so I'm really glad to see you all. I'm really happy that y'all are here hanging out with me because I have missed you. I have missed crocheting. Believe it or not, you guys know I crochet like every day of my life. Tuesday, I didn't crochet at all. And yesterday, I didn't crochet at all. It might be a record, honestly, because I don't know when the last time I didn't crochet for a day was. It's crazy. But yesterday at work, I worked 15 hours, and Tuesday I worked 14 hours, and I was just exhausted. Missed your morning entertainment, right? Hooked. I know. Taylor's about ready to head to work herself. All right. Well, have a great day, Taylor. I'll catch you later if you're going to go live. I'll look forward to seeing you. Hopefully, I'll get the notification. Have you guys noticed? I haven't been getting notifications when people are going live. So sporadic. It's kind of frustrating. Yes, Veronica, no crocheting at all. Okay. So, what we're going to do now is this is where I just finished. Um, I'm going to chain one and I'm going to turn my work and I'm going to bring these two sides together. So I'm putting the right side together with my wrong side facing out. Okay. And as I do this, what we're going to do is we're going to line up these stitches and crochet join this together. And when I do this, what I like to do is I like to go into the back loop only of my first stitch. And then on this side, I go under both loops. And so what we do here is we want to leave behind a line of texture. So that way, when we fold it back, we can still see that. So if we look at this one that I made, let's put it right side is in now. And this is where I joined it. Okay. Do you see how this one looks a little different than this one? Forgive the diesel hair. He's been okay. I join with a slip stitch right through here. So it's not super obvious, but once I get it all stitched together and turn it right side out and fold up my brim, here is where that join is. Okay. So you can kind of see it here. See how that line comes through there? If you don't like that line, then go under both loops. Here is where the join is. I think it's subtle enough. This is kind of just the way that I have been doing it. But again, you would need to kind of make the decision for yourself. Some people like to go under both loops of both sides. But in doing a slip stitch, it helps keep this kind of flat to my work so it's not so obvious. And it makes it so that I don't have to sew it. Now, a lot of people are perfectionists and they like to sew it. Sewing it will definitely give it a better, different look. But if you don't like that, if you're like me and you like crocheting it together, then this is how I do it. Okay. So here we go. My two sides are together. My wrong sides are facing out. So that this is the right side on the inside of my beanie. Okay. As I work this up, the tail strategically is going to be at the top where I sew the crown of my hat together. So here we go. Into the very first stitch under the back loop, I put my hook. On the opposite side, I popped out that stitch marker and I'm going to go under both loops. Now this first stitch is a little tight to get under, but I go under both bars. Puzzle piece. Okay, there we go. Um, and I keep this kind of tight through here and I pull a loop through. Now, you want this to have some play in this so that it's not too tight, okay? So you kind of pull this up and then I pull this stitch underneath with a slip stitch. Then I move to the next stitch, again under the back loop, opposite side under both loops, pull up a loop, again kind of keep this a little loose and pull through slip stitch. Back loop of this one, both loops of that one, pull up a stitch and pull through both. Firestar, I'm not sure I have like an official pattern for this. This is just kind of how I do them. Now you could rewatch this over on my YouTube. My handle over there is Wheeler 8 Acres. If you wanted to rewatch, there's several videos of me making beanies. When you go on my YouTube, guys, make sure you're going over to the live tab. When you first look at my profile, you'll see where it says videos. There's another category called shorts, and then there's a category called live. So this morning we're live both on TikTok and on YouTube, and you can go back and rewatch that this morning over there once we're off the live. You could watch it right now if you wanted to on your TV. Okay, so here is how our join is looking. Okay, see right here? Now, as you're doing this, again, be very, very cautious of how tight you are getting these stitches. You want to make sure that this has some pull to it. Otherwise, if your slip stitches are too tight, this is going to pucker up like this, and you're going to end up with a lopsided join here. Okay, so make sure you're pulling this tight. And I find a lot of times that um, I have to exaggerate it like even more because I inevitably end up going too tight. Okay, so just be very, very cautious of that as you're working these slip stitches. Here we go into the back loop under both of the other side, bring up a loop, pull this one underneath here, slip stitch, and I'm going to do this all the way till we get to the very tippy top, working my way up. Very, very easy way to join. And it does look very, I think Miss Betty said you can't even see the join. I can see it because I know it's there. And it's sometimes more obvious with different yarns and different colors. But for this yarn, I feel like it's super forgiving and it looks really nice with this join. So I just do my thing. And that way I don't have to sew it. But, feel free to, if you wanted to do it like a whip stitch here, you totally could on the inside. You could do the mattress stitch if you prefer that. Lots of different possibilities. Where do you take your items to donate? I need to start doing that. So, Tammy, that's a great question. There are categories on my Discord where you can find all the organizations that I donate to. There's also links on my link tree as well, but I have a number of organizations that I contribute to. So, number one, I send blankets to my sister-in-law is a NICU nurse down in Pensacola, Florida, and they have a blanket program. So when she comes to visit, I box up baby blankets and I send them down with her to her hospital. The other thing, I was talking to my sister over the weekend because she's in the NICU. I don't remember what they're called, but for those that have been in a NICU, um, they're in the hospital. They have like these acrylic. They're like isolation, like little booths or something, where a lot of the babies go into these to help keep them like secure and germ free. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I can't think of what they're called. Anyhow, isolettes. Thank you, Vanessa. Isolettes. That's exactly what it is. We were talking this weekend and she said, I need to get you to make some blankets for our isolettes. She said, what happens is the ones that come with it come down too far and we don't like using them. She goes, we really like just kind of a small cover across the top that comes down a little bit. And she goes, a lot of times we'll use the hospital blankets. She goes, but they're really lightweight. And because the acrylic is slippery, they will slide off of the isolette. And she goes, I think the ones that you make, not only would they look really nice, but they would stay on the roof a little better. So she works on, I think, I think she goes back to work tomorrow, and she works Friday, Saturday, Sunday. She works nights. She's going to measure the isolettes and take pictures, and I'm going to see if I can develop an isolette cover specifically for her NICU that I can make, and she can take those with her to cover up the little isolettes. I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be a really cool project. So not only could I do the blankets, but I could do the isolettes as well. So that's one place. The other place that I have started donating to is an organization called Rachel's Gift. Here we are, guys, back to the very top. Again, I'm going to pop out these stitch markers. This is where we did our single crochets. Same thing. I'm just going to do exactly the same as I've been doing um, the entire way down. Okay, so still doing my slip stitch all the way through the top here, working under the back loop and under both loops. The other baby blanket place I've been sending to is called Rachel's Gift. And I haven't actually sent anything off, but I think I have 7 of the Rachel's Gift blankets made now. Rachel's Gift is an organization that is based out of Georgia. However, they are in hospitals across the United States, and they provide a little box if parents lose the baby there in the hospital from premature birth, all of the things that happen. It's a horrible, devastating time in somebody's life. I mean, the whole shock of it. I get choked up just thinking about it. Anyhow, they put together a little box that has the baby blanket along with literature of like bereavement. And there's other places that do it as well, but I have been making blankets for Rachel's Gift, and they're a great place to donate to. The other one is called Warm Up America. Yes, they're keepsake boxes. Thank you, Eleanor. I'm struggling with words today, guys. They're called keepsake boxes. Okay, I just did my last stitch here, guys. Now I'm going to snip off. Now, very important, when you snip off, give yourself a long enough tail so you can use this to sew the top of your hat together. Okay, I'm not going to turn this right side out yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my darning needle on my yarn here, and I'm going to whip stitch all the way across this and get this all nice and secure. Okay, and I'll show you how I do that. So the other organization is called what did I just say? They're the one in Texas. Warm Up America. Warm Up America has a partnership with Sabre Healthcare, and I make wheelchair size blankets that I donate to Sabre Healthcare. This year so far, I've lost count. I need to count them again. I haven't shipped off my boxes yet. My sister's going to help me with that when she comes. She said she would help me, and I think I have 20. I want to say it's like 26 blankets I've made for Warm Up America, specifically going to Sabre Healthcare. So that is another place that I donate my blankets to. These beanies that I'm making are going to go up to an organization in Nashville, Tennessee, that is called Launchpad. Launchpad is a emergency shelter for LGBTQIA 18 to 25-year olds. So it's like a temporary shelter. They help find housing and get people back on their feet. And I am sending some blankets. I'm sending some of these twist ear warmers and all these beanies. Believe it or not, it does actually get cold here. I know it's like the South, but Tennessee and where I'm at actually gets pretty cold in the winter sometimes. So I think it'll be nice. And I don't know how many beanies I have. I've lost count, but I think I probably have maybe like, I don't know, 40 between the beanies and bucket hats and ear warmers, maybe more. I don't know. That's another thing my sister and I are going to work on over the weekend when she's here. She's going to come, not over the weekend. She's going to come, I think, Monday or Tuesday and hang out for a few days. I'll be working, but she will use that as an opportunity to sleep in, and she'll take packages for me over to like the UPS store. And so, anyhow, that is the other organization that I donate to. Now, there are tons of organizations We don't have per se any homeless shelters here in my area. We live in a very small town in Northeast Alabama, and I'm sure there are probably food banks that I could donate to, maybe church organizations that would accept for like food baskets and stuff. They a lot of times will put stuff like this into those. So you definitely could check in your local area. Sometimes, if you have a nursing home in your area or assisted living facilities, sometimes they will take, if you want to make blankets, they will take those as well. Uh, Queen 530, perfect example, pregnancy centers. Mama Wheeler is in a sewing group down in Florida when they're down in Florida, and they have a group there that the ladies make stuff, and men make stuff to go to. It's like a women's, I don't know that it's like a women's shelter, but it's like a pregnancy center, where they help young ladies and ladies who are expecting that need a little extra help. So that's where theirs go. It has a specific name. I can't think of it, the name. My mom will share with it. Naughty Wendy said, I go to hospice. Yes, not hospice as well is another great organization. There's an organization called Project Linus, and there is a link on my link tree as well for Project Linus if you want to make blankets and donate. Um, there is an organization called Soap Sacks, SACK. It's actually called SACK. If you want to make soap sacks, they help with homeless shelters. They put soap in them. You can donate soap, and the little crocheted sacks as well. All of this information, guys, is on the link tree. I try to add to them as I find them, the different organizations where you can donate your stuff. So I try to donate to stuff that is closer to me so I can, help with shipping costs because that is kind of exorbitant sometimes, right? Kayla said local rehabs, back to school drives. Amanda said homeless shelters, women's homes, nursing homes, assisted living, pregnancy. There are so many possibilities, guys. And it is a great way for us as fiber artists to really share our gift with others. And the thing is, I have been crocheting for 40 years. You get to a point in your crochet journey where it's like, how many more scarves can you have personally? How many more blankets can you give to the family? How many more, whatever it is you're making, beanies? You just don't need any more. However, crochet for me, guys, is like therapy. It's very relaxing. It's rewarding. I love doing it. It is like woosah. I just really enjoy it. So by donating, it allows me to keep creating and enjoy that part of my life that I really love without stuff like piling up and not being used. So even if, in the nursing homes they don't get a ton of use out of it, um, you know, if it helps to brighten one person's day, then I'm good with that. And it makes me feel good inside to contribute and help somebody else. And so I really enjoy that aspect of my crochet work. And, I make stuff for myself also, and I do. But a lot of my stuff I donate. Primarily, I donate my stuff. And most of y'all know that. So, anyhow, I hope that helps to answer the question. Hey, Cindy, good morning. Our geriatric psychiatry unit gives patients blankets for Christmas as needed. Nice, nice. I'm working on a Christmas blanket. Maybe I'll show you guys that. Um, once I get this all sewn together. So hopefully you've all been watching. I'm just whip stitching this. I'm going back and forth, weaving in my yarn, and I'm pulling this tight as I go along. So you see it kind of squishing up, right? Now I'm back to where I started. So I have my initial tail that I had, and then I have the one that I've been working on. What I will do now is I'm going to actually tie these into a knot, and I try to pull this up as tight as I can to close up this hole. Now, you don't want to break your yarn, and I just do a double knot here, okay? Now, I still have quite a bit of tail, and I don't know if you can see, I still have a pretty big hole here in the top of my beanie, and I don't like that. I like to close it up really nice and tight if I can, okay? I don't want to pull it and have it look like wonky, but you can see how tight this one is here in the center. I want it to be as tight as that if possible. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to continue working this tail along the top of these stitches and just kind of try to pull this closed a little bit more. And this does take a little time and patience because as I'm working with this yarn, it sometimes doesn't like to pull through on these stitches. It kind of gets a little tangled up. But I'm just kind of weaving this in a little more. We have knotted it, so I'm not worried about it coming undone, but we're just going to try to pull this through a little more and get this a little tighter. Now, as I'm working on this, sometimes it'll get snagged up and I can't even pull my needle through. So I have these little rubber grippies. I got these off the Zon. Also, remember when you do say have the paper sorters, I have the full finger ones as well. But how I use these is when I put my needle through, if it's really tight and I can't pull it through the stitches, it'll get like hung up here and I'll feel like I'm really pulling. So what I'll do is I'll use my little grippy and I'll wrap this around my hook and or my needle, it gives me a little extra pulling power as I'm pulling this through. It's like a little grippy. You could use a rubber glove, anything like that. Rubber will really help to help pull that through. The wheelchair size blankets that I make Eleanor are 35 by 45 size. 35 by 45 size is what I try to aim for on those. That is kind of the ideal size. So it doesn't get hung up in the wheels. That's what you're trying to avoid. And I'm just going to go around this a few times, friends, as we're doing this. Sorry, I know I have missed some of the comments. Red Cross in my town will not accept anything homemade anymore. Well, that's unfortunate. I understand though. I mean, I do get that, especially with the big C that happened. That's probably something they're trying to avoid. Um, Alicia said, when I donate, me and my adult children ride around in the streets and give beanies to the homeless. Talk about making a direct impact, Alicia. I love that. I love that. That is a really cool thing. I bet they really appreciate that too. See how our hole is getting tighter here? We're going to do one more with this yarn and then I'm going to snip off. Wow, Alicia, that made my day hearing that. Right, guys? Isn't that amazing? Everybody that donates their stuff, I just think is just shows what big hearts everybody has. I'm going to go ahead and snip this off now. I've gone around a few times and I'm just going to throw this piece away. It gets kind of shredded up as I work on it. Now, we have our last little tail here. This was also knotted in the very beginning, so I'm not worried about this side of the yarn coming undone as well. But I am going to just take an opportunity and just weave this in a few more times to kind of hide it in my work. Okay. See how that's hard to pull through here? I get my little grippy and see if that will help me to pull it through. This yarn is really bulky and it's kind of fuzzy, so it's definitely a challenge. I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to go around, maybe just a couple, but it's okay. We're nice and closed up now. So go as many times as you think you need to. You want this to be nice and secure, though. You definitely don't want this to, come off as somebody is wearing it. Also, at this point, if you're going to use a pom pom, now's a great time to use this thread. You sew on a button on the inside of your brim right here. Then you can bring the pom pom through the very center of your hole. And with the elastic, you wrap the elastic around the button. We've done that a number of times as well. So I'm going to snip this off and we are officially done, my friends. Now, again, we have the wrong side is facing out. 50,000 likes. Thank you all so much for all of the screen taps. Arlene, good morning. Welcome in. So I'm going to right side out our little beanie. And you can kind of see how she's looking. So here is where our seam was. right here. Do you see where this seam is? That's where we seamed it up. Again, putting these stitches at the top where they were our single crochets, that really helps to kind of flatten this part out here as we're um, getting it kind of flat. So hopefully you can see that a little better. Hard to see it all on camera. It would look really cute with a pom-pom. We do have extra purple yarn. Do y'all want to make a pom this morning? I can definitely make a pom-pom hole because I'll tell you what, look what I've got right here. My little pom-pom maker. What time is it? I can't see my clock because of the white yarn. Hang on, let me move this to the side so I can see what time it is. 8:50. We have 30 minutes. Y'all want to make a pom-pom? I think it would be cute for this, don't you think? This looks like a girl color beanie. I think that would be cute. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so for those that are not familiar with this, this is a pom pom maker. You can get these off the Zon. You can also get these at Wally World. You can get them at the cheapest place is Dollar Tree. A lot of times they'll get these. They come in various sizes and they make different size pom poms. Okay, this is the largest size, and I like this for my adult size beanies. Don't be alarmed when you get it if it is broken in half like this, because that is how it is designed. You can see it has a little metal spindle here in the very center, and it has a little receptor here, plastic, that slides in and you put your two pieces together. Now, as you're looking at this, it also has sides that open up. So it ends up looking like this. How wild is that? Whoever's brainchild this was, can I just say genius? I mean, really. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up one side. These pieces are split apart, if you can see that, and it's intentional, okay? I'm going to take my yarn, I'm going to hold it here with my thumb, and I'm going to wrap along the inside of this like half moon. Make sure you keep this together. My pom pom maker has made a ton of pom poms. It's a little stretched out in the middle, so it likes to kind of pop open and come undone. So I have to be very, very careful as I'm doing this that I hold my two sides together. Now it has two little lips that you can see here. We're working this yarn under those lips back and forth, and we need to get this very, very full as we're working this yarn. We're going to fill it up. See the little half moon here? We need this to be flat through here, okay? More yarn than you would possibly think you need is needing to go into the very center of this pom-pom maker. So you just wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap as much as you can until it gets full. So I'm going to get my workout here this morning. At least it's a bulky yarn. It should fill up pretty fast, I would think. Again, it doesn't matter how you do this back and forth. You can go, I just kind of work it back and forth, layering my layers up as I go until I get it like completely full. Eventually, the sides will get to a point where you can't really fit any more on the outer sides, and that's fine. Um, just keep going as much as you can. Whew. We voted to do the pink hat, but y'all, I don't know if we're gonna have time to do the pink hat. Kind of bummed out. I really wanted to do that one. We'll see. Maybe I'll save that yarn. I'm not really sure. Okay, almost there. Okay, see how I've got it flat now? Okay, and this is really full and big. That's how you want it, and you wrapping that very tight. Now we're going to close up one side, and you've got to kind of keep this squished together. Okay, it puts a lot of pressure on that inside joint. I leave my yarn attached, and then I open up the other side here. Now we're going to wrap the same way around this side. You can cut it. I don't waste my time cutting it. I just right away start to wrapping the other side. Ooh, I always forget how much of a workout these little guys are till I do one, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember now. Still, this little contraption, I mean, such a brilliant, whoever came up with this, Really, really clever, right? The human mind really amazes me sometimes. I wonder how long these things have been around. I only discovered them a few years ago. A lot of times people buy these and then they're like, I have a video tutorial of this on my page, guys. And a lot of people commented, they're like, oh, thank you. I was gifted one and I didn't know how to use it. Like they don't come with instructions. It's just like a piece of plastic from Dollar Tree. I don't know. Mine may have had instructions. I got my set off of the Zon. So maybe mine did have instructions. Why are you being all whiny? Why are you being all whiny? Huh? Is it because your brother's outside and you're in here? Oh, really? Tell us all about it. That's Mo, you guys. He's people used to make it by hand. Yeah, Eleanor, I remember that. My mom, I think we used to wrap it like around a piece of paper when I was a kid. Or not a piece of paper, like a piece of cardboard or something. It seems like a ton of yarn. It is, Kristen. It's way more yarn than you would think, but it's okay. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be worth it. Okay. So now you want to keep this squished together, okay? We're going to get our scissors and we're going to, the very first snip here is very, very hard to do. Make sure you keep this nice and secure. Both your sides pressed down and your middle pressed together. Okay. I messed up a whole pom pom the other day because I was not holding it tight as I was doing it. And I ended up with little stringy things everywhere. Okay. So one side now is cut apart. You can see how it's like getting fuzzy there. See how that popped up? Don't let it pop up on you. Okay. Here we go. Now we're going to do the other side. It likes to start popping open once you cut these for whatever reason. And just be patient. Make sure you have sharp scissors when you do this. I'm just using my little sewing scissors that I have here next to me all the time. Okay, so let me clip off this yarn. We don't need this. And what we need to do now is we need to tie a string around the middle here without this thing coming undone. Let me grab some white yarn here that I have. I guess I could try the purple. I don't know if the purple is strong enough. Let's try the purple. Why not? We have a bunch of it that I'm not going to use. So, okay. Now, see how there's that slit in the middle? We're going to wrap this yarn through the middle of that, going through both sides, and pull this tight. I'm afraid mine's going to pop open. And I tie a knot, okay? Oh, yeah, see that yarn broke. That's not a good yarn to use. Pull that out. We're not going to use that yarn. That's what I was thinking was going to happen. Where's my yarn at here? Let's try this white yarn. This is just red heart yarn that I have here. Okay, so let's try this again. I need to order some new ones of these, or I need to go to Dollar Tree. Maybe when Mama Wheeler gets here, we can go to Dollar Tree and see if they have any. I really need some more. The one you do they okay, so I tie it in a knot like this, okay? Then I go back the opposite direction and I tie it in another knot. Then I go back the other direction 3 times and I tie this like in a double knot. Again, I'm tying this very, very tight, guys, like a triple knot, okay? Because I don't want this to come undone. All right. Now, important. See how I'm getting all these fuzzies everywhere, fuzzy wuzzies? It's going to get even worse here. So here is my little trick because we're going to give this guy a haircut. Grab yourself a piece of paper. And I happen to have one here, okay? Any paper. Fold it in half like this so it makes a little like saucer, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, pull up the side. Now this is sometimes can be a little tight, but these little guys will flip up and you open both the sides up. Now remember how it came apart and we had the two halves? Pull your two halves apart. See how mine's coming apart? When you first get it, it doesn't come apart like this as much. It's just because mine has made so many pom-poms over the years. I need to invest $1 and get a new one. Okay. Then I don't cut these strings off. These strings right here, I'm going to use to weave into the top of my hat. So I grab the very center here and I kind of give it a little shake and fluff this up. Now, what you're going to see happen is see how we have on this side, like some areas that don't look very good. It's kind of like wild and woolly. So what I will do is I give him a little haircut and I try to cut these over my piece of paper so I don't have purple fuzz all over my lap as we're making this. Then you can just put your little paper into like your garbage can or whatever and try not to get this everywhere. Otherwise, you'll be really mad at yourself. Trust me, I've done it the other way. Okay, so we just give him a little haircut. Don't get too wild with it, but this had a lot kind of on these sides that didn't really like look the right length. And that happens. That's very normal that that happens. Okay, so you just kind of even this all out. Give it a little shake as you're doing it. And you can kind of see how some of those pop up a little more wild than others. The other thing is I'll use my finger and just kind of fluff it a little bit and just try to trim some of those down a little bit so it looks a little more unruly, not so unruly. Okay, that's pretty good. See all my little fuzzy wuzzies? That can go right into my little garbage can that I have if I don't spill them everywhere. I still am probably going to spill it everywhere. I should have waited and gone to the garbage can. Oh well. Do as I say, not as I do, right, Mom? Okay, good enough. Now, what you'll want to do is I will put my crochet hook. Usually I will get a smaller size hook than the one that I'm using. And I will try to pop it through the very top here on each side. And with my strings that I have here, I will pull it down through the inside of my hat. I'm grabbing up on the yarn too. Okay, and we're going to pull that through. Then I'm going to go kind of on the other side, kind of like out here. I need some yarn in between this because we're going to just tie it on. Acrylic yarn, Mary, is really bad for the birds. Actually, any yarn is kind of bad for the birds. Um, Cotton, especially, cotton absorbs a lot of water, but the birds need nesting material that has really great drainage, and yarn does not typically provide that. Once I have my two sides through, you can just knot this on the inside a few times, and then you could weave in these tails as well. Hey, Cassie, good morning. Good enough is my catchphrase. Hey, Robin, we're like sisters because I'll tell you what, uh, me too. Good enough is good enough, right? Okay. So this is where we're at. Get my little brim back in place. And we have our little pom pom. Just like that. Just like magic. Cute, right? Really cute. So, and then I have leftover yarn. Probably what I'll do with my leftover yarn, I have this much. So I made one beanie with the gold color that I used the other day. Sorry, y'all. Let me get some of this stuff picked up out of my lap before I start losing it. Bear with me here. One second. Let me regroup. Um, I made the gold beanie the other day, and This one I didn't put a pom-pom on or anything, but I had enough of the gold to also make an ear warmer. So I did this pretty much exactly the same way, except I didn't do the decreases on it. I just crocheted it flat. You can see how I make these over on my YouTube as well. But what I'll do is I will use the scraps of yarn and I'll just use however much I have. It might end up being like purple and pink, you know. I think these colors would look good together if we did it kind of like that. So whatever leftover purple I have, mix it with the leftover pink. I also have colors like blue and stuff. So yes, you could make the rim another color. Eleanor, very good point. Some people like to do different colors within their beanies itself. So sometimes they'll have like purple stripes, pink stripes, back to purple, blue, whatever. You could do that as well. So this little leftover yarn here is not going to go to waste, my friends. It's definitely going to get used. And like I said, I will most likely make little ear warmers, and those will be for donation as welcome. Annie, good morning from Jamaica. Welcome in. Kate is here. Good morning. Welcome. Jules, good morning. Robin, beautiful. Thank you so much, Robin. Uh, Crochet Queen Connie said, "I'm going to get me a pom pom maker." Yeah, they're a great little gadget to have. Like I said, I don't do them a ton, but every now and then I'll get a little bug like today, and it's a great little gadget to have. I mean, you can't go wrong with the price. They're really cute for kids hats if you're doing kids hats. And the other thing I'll do is I'll mix up the colors. So, like if I was doing like say we were doing this with purple and pink, like striped or something on the top when I do the pom pom, I will mix my purple and pink together and do both the colors for my palm so it kind of matches the look that I'm going for. So 11-inch wide, but how long do you usually do it? I might have missed that. So from top to bottom, this finished beanie after we fold up the brim works out to be my brim's a little big here. It works out to be about 9 inches. 9 inches is pretty standard for like a women's hat from top to bottom. It's not stretched out. It's about 9 inches. Okay, so when I made my starting chain, I did uh, hard to see there, but it's like 8.5. This is folded up a little too much. Anyhow, so about 9 inches is what I shoot for. So, however much you want your brim to be, you would add that to it. So, in my case, I said I'll do 11 inches for my starting chain. And that works out to be about 9 inches tall, which works perfect for like my head. Now, around the brim part, right, the circumference of your head, you would need to measure that. You could take your fabric tape measure and measure around your circumference of your head. So, Hannah, if you're making one for yourself, get your tape measure out and measure around. Most heads are usually between like 20 to 22 inches. I think mine's like 21. So you can see this one here worked out to be about 11 inches, which is about 22 inches wide. So it's not going to be super tight around my head. But now it will have also some stretch as well. So if you have a bigger size head, it will accommodate for that as well. Because this is going for donation, I'm just kind of guesstimating. It's not actually a hat for me. If I was making one for me, I would get my tape measure, wrap around my head, figure out what my circumference is, and that would tell me how many rows to crochet together. Mine ends up being about 32 rows of the half doubles. Okay, so hopefully that helps. I crochet at football games so I can make a lot of pom poms while at the game. Yeah, you definitely could. You definitely could. Let's see here. Sorry, y'all. Dana just renewed for 6 months. Oh, Dana, thank you so much. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the sub thing. It's supposed to make changes. Leah, have a great day. Um, Thanks for being here. Glad to see you, friend. It's nice. It's nice to see everybody. I've had such a crazy week. Um, y'all want to see my Christmas blanket before I go to work? Tammy, we just made the pom pom. You use these little pom pom makers to do it. They come apart in half like this. I have a tutorial on my TikTok if you want to see how to make it. Anyhow, I've been working on a ton of stuff, y'all, over the weekend. Yeah, big brain, Kelly. If you have a big head, that means you got a big brain, right? That's a good thing. Okay, so here is the Christmas blanket I've been working on. Well, I've been working on some fall squares also. I'm trying to decide. I wanted to make a fall blanket to donate. And so I've been toying around with these two ideas. I made these over the weekend at some point. I'm trying to decide if I like the brown outline better or the white. This is like a bone color. I think I like the brown better. I've been noodling on it for a couple days. This is just a sunburst granny square, guys. So nothing too fancy here. Instead of doing just one row of the brown, I did two rows of the brown. Yeah, both and alternate. I've heard that before as well. I don't know if I'm gonna do that though for this blanket. I really am kind of liking the brown look. It just screams Thanksgiving to me, and I'm kind of in that vibe right now. I tried making another smaller one. This sunburst, I only did 12 and it ended up being 4 inches. And I kind of like the 4 inch size square, but the problem with the 4 inch square is uh it's going to take a lot more to like sew all that together. So in all honesty, I'm thinking the brown and I'm thinking for a wheelchair size blanket, but to be determined. Okay. Oh, this one is connected to my yarn still because I was going to frog it out while I was making my decision. Here is my Christmas blanket I'm working on. Also, these are sunburst squares. Now I'm using the Red Heart Biddy stripes in the colorway of their new Christmas yarn. I don't remember what it's called exactly. And I'm just letting the colors flow. Now, for the very center here, I did control the colors here. So I did Red Heart Super Saver White for the very center. Then I love this yarn Cranberry, which I love the cranberry color. I just really, really dig it. And then I used the variegated yarn, the Biddy stripes, to go around. And then I outlined with white. Now I'm making more of these squares because what our next step is going to be is I'm going to be joining a row of white all the way back around this square. This I think is going to look really, really cool. So I have a lot of these started. I have been crochet joining these together, which is a new concept for me on this particular blanket. But you can kind of see I've been doing crochet as you go, join as you go. So I think we're going to work on these next week on the live. You can see I have a bunch of centers made up and I these just all need to be outlined with white and then they'll be joined to each other. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to put a row of white here along this edge and I'm going to try to join as I go these squares to the body of the blanket, which again, I'm trying to wrap my head around how to do that because I have not done it before and how it's going to work with the granny stitch. But I'm doing some serious noodling on that. Okay. So this is kind of where I left off this weekend is I need to spend some more time with it, but that's kind of what I've got in my mind. So, most definitely next week, we'll probably be working on this blanket on the live. Also, in the background, I have been working on the winter squares. Which you can see here, I've got a lot of them outlined with the blue. These are ready to start joining together. And I'm thinking about doing again a join as you go technique for these as well. Um, and of course, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, how can you join as you go? Because you've already outlined them. I have a grip more of these. How many is a grip? I don't know. I have a lot of these to make for a blanket. This would, again, be for donation. So I've kind of been thinking about that. The other thing I was thinking about is if I don't do the fall squares for a blanket, for me personally, I have a pillow insert. I want to do how many did it take? 16 of these squares. I wouldn't do this outer outline. Remember that pillow that we made, but actually do like a fall pillow, like a fall throw pillow to have here at my house. I think that would be really cool. Also, I have been working on, of course, my county fair blanket. The Christmas blanket is not for the fair, and the fall stuff is not for the fair. This blanket is. I'm back all the way out to. It's starting to transition to the dark purple. I worked on this quite a bit this weekend. We're still not there. We have quite a bit more to go. So I still have that in the works as well. Um, I did finish half of my hexagon cardigan that I'm working on. Just dropped my yarn on the floor. This is grande size, guys. This is for me, but I finished my sleeve. I'm really not liking this cardigan for me because like I said, I am a big gal, guys, and I feel like what I need to do for this sleeve, I didn't add a whole bunch of rows because it was so big already. Um, I feel like I need to figure out on the hexagon cardigan how to taper down on the sleeve side and make this more narrow as I'm working my way out, so that when I get to the cuff, it's not so like, can you guys see how big this is? I don't really like that. It kind of makes it like pillowy sleeves, and I like them more tapered. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm totally digging this. I need to sorry, I dropped a bunch of stuff on the floor over here. I need to kind of work with this and experiment. This yarn right here is butterfly yarn. I get this from Hobie. Now, friends, I went on Hobie's site. They are still selling in the United States and shipping to the United States. However, I got my order in right before the tariffs hit. So you can still order from Hobie, but there are tariffs now applied to your order, and it's a percentage of what you did. So I'm really glad that I bought when I did. I just had this gut feeling. I bought a whole bunch of different colors of this, but it's a color changing yarn. It's really pretty and soft. It starts with the lighter color and it works out to this dark blue. I stole the dark blue off this skein to do my cuffs. So anyhow, I am just really pleased that I got that yarn. Now, the purple yarn, somebody asked what I'm using for that, is Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted Gradient. That blanket that I'm doing, Firestar, is the Study of Snow pattern. The Study of Snow. So that is another pattern that I have currently in the works. So we'll probably work on more of these next week. I did start some other squares here as well. I don't think I can reach them, but I'll show you guys those next week. So anyhow, that's kind of the skinny of what I've got going on. Again, my work has been really crazy, guys, and I'm sorry I missed you all earlier this week. I'm really glad I got to come on today. It makes my whole day. I really am glad that everybody came and hung out. It means the world to me. And I am going to hop off a little bit early because I do want to go and clean up that yard before I go to work where Diesel uh, shredded that doggy bed. I want to get out there with the trash bag this morning. I know that's probably not very exciting. But anyhow, I hope you all have enjoyed hanging out today. I've had fun making a beanie. When you need something, when your brain is full, make something, that's not quite so challenging. And look, mission accomplished. We made a beanie this morning. I made this ear warmer before I ever got on the live. So, two completed projects this morning before work. How about that? Really, really fun. I will see you all next week. I'm sure the live schedule will be back to normal next week, guys. So we'll just play it by ear. Make sure you have your notifications turned on. Hit the little bell after you give a follow. There's a little bell you can hit so that you get notified when I go live. The ear cuff tutorial, Christina, this is on my YouTube channel. My handle on YouTube is Wheeler 8 Acres. Quinell, everything I make is crochet. I am a crocheter. So check me out over on YouTube. When you go there, there's different categories. There is the live tab. That is where you're going to find everything. So when you first log on, you'll see under my profile, there's a little category that says shorts. Then there's one that says live. And then there's one that says videos. All of my replays are on the live because like this morning, am live on both platforms. Okay. So that's where you'll find the replays. And you'll have to scroll down. We've been going live for quite a while over there. So, anyhow, I hope that helps to answer everybody's questions. I hope you have an amazing weekend and get lots of crocheting in. Enjoy the nice, cool weather that we're having. It definitely is starting to feel like fall here in Alabama. Thank you all so much for all of the screen taps. 86,000 likes this morning. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for the gifts. A special shout out to all of our subscribers. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye for now.